Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela for the second time today, this time on purpose instead of by accident. So, yeah, JoJo's, I got busted. So, I don't know, for anybody who didn't catch it, what happened was somehow the live got started. The live show got started without my knowledge, like an hour and some early, and I'm sitting here noshing on rice and surfing the internet for more Mandelas, and I didn't even know it was on. So thank you, people who a couple people sent some small donations, and it makes like a ding noise, and I'm like, why is the donation ding going off? And I look and I'm live. The whole thing is weird. Okay, I mean the only thing I can figure is that somehow I left OBS Studios running from last week and left the live stream mode on. Okay, I usually am pretty good about turning off OBS stream, but it's possible that I forgot. And then at 9 p.m. early today for me, because it's 3 hours early, I put up the new stream scheduled for midnight. But what's weird is if OBS was streaming that whole time, why didn't it start the stream at 9 p.m. when I first put it up on YouTube? But somehow at like 10:15, suddenly it started streaming. And I was kind of confused because I looked at my computer and suddenly OBS Studios was up instead of the usual. And I was like, why is OBS up? So I just minimized it again. Well, I think right around then is probably when I started suddenly being live. So a bunch of people saw me eating rice and from what looks like the dark for you because I didn't have the good lighting on and stuff. But I have deleted that stream and redid it. So that's this one because I don't think you guys... Maybe it was fun for you, but it wasn't the world's best content. So that's why everybody's joking about rice eating ASMR and stuff on here. So thanks for alerting me, guys. That was pretty funny. I still don't exactly get how, though, that happened. I mean, how did it start at 10:15, like, by itself? I don't know. Wait, Eva is yes, I am a Cancer. The astrological symbol, that is. I got paid for eating rice. Yeah, maybe that I should just do rice eating ASMR. I've heard there's a lot of weird stuff on TikTok that you could get paid to do. To just see some white Karen eating rice as a show like every day. That'd be great because I can just get my normal food and get paid to eat it. Yeah, so I should, as far as I understand, even if I delete it, I still get the super chats. So worst case scenario, you should get refunded for your super chats. I mean, worst case for me, which would not hurt you any, but I think I still get them even though I deleted the show because, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's not that big a deal, but I appreciate you sending them. I mean, I don't want the show to go on for, I don't know how long the show would have probably went on for another hour and 15 minutes without me knowing if you guys hadn't dinged me with a super chat and alerted me to something strange going on. But yeah, like I said, the worst case scenario, you guys will just get refunded. So should be no harm. Okay, there is a lot of Mandelas today. In fact, part of me was rice and eating and like, wait, no, wait. It's one of those things where I look this up and then it says this, and I look this up and then it says this, and then pretty soon I've got a giant string of Mandelas, plus the ones I had from earlier in the week. Okay, so this one was kind of a big one for me. I don't think anybody gave me this one. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, no, I don't have anybody on here. Okay. So apparently now, and I actually did this on my show a while ago as just as a sign of weirdness when I was sort of heavy into the arm pokety thing for a while. So I thought it was really strange and creepy that Trump held up the Bible upside down. And I covered all the evidence I could find about him doing that. And, and that includes, of course, all of the conservative sites that I'm sure would do everything they could to defend him from any false accusations. And I couldn't, all I found was, images of sort of like this. This is the current timeline image, and that was it. There was nothing, and, I don't want to get into the politics of it. It's just the fact that something was said that now for me is different in this timeline. So I also watched the video of him holding, like, before he held up the Bible. I remember him he looked distracted, and, he was probably thinking about what he was going to say next, and then he's like, how do I hold up this Bible? And he looked very fumbly and kind of distracted in my old timeline. And so one would not have been surprised if he held it up. It was upside down, actually. It was upside down. One would not have been surprised because you could see that he was just not, his attention wasn't on that. And since there's not really like writing on the front or back of it, it would be easy to goof that up, right? I just thought it was interesting because it was sort of an interesting symbol at the time. So apparently that never happened now, despite me looking considerably hard for video evidence of whether or not he did that. Now it's all baloney. He never did. And so this is, I found this in like 30 seconds. There's a close-up of him getting ready to pull it aloft, and you can see that it's clearly right side up because you can see the writing now. Before you couldn't, but now you can. But then I went ahead and watched the video of the event, which is this. I'm going to just close these other ones because you guys know that stuff already. Plus, I got a lot of windows open. I want to get rid of a few of them. Okay, so here's the video. I'm pretty sure this is just news, right? So hopefully there won't be any serious issues if I play a clip of this. So he hasn't done anything yet besides stand there at this point. So hopefully you can see it. I'm actually going to kill the sound too, because sometimes that cuts back on copyrights. I don't know, or maybe I think it does, but okay. So you see here, let me go back a second. He clearly he looks calmer here. He's concentrating on getting this right. It's almost like this time, timeline's a redo. You ever wish you could just go back and not screw up something? Well, in this timeline, he it's like he did that. I don't know. So you can see that his whole demeanor, he's concentrating, he's checking the Bible. All right, go back. Don't give me any crap. All right, I'm going to go back to, it should be at about 5:02. Okay, let's go to there. Okay, let's start here. Okay, he's standing there. See if this is how you remember it, because it's just not how I remember it. You see, he looks at it. Seriously, he looks at it again. He looks at it again. He's absolutely careful this time. Now he's now I do remember him kind of wagging it around weird. All right. He looks at it again. Very carefully holds it up. He looks at it 3 times carefully, and then he holds it up. And if you catch him just before he gets it held up, here you can see that it's right side up there. And that was the close-up image I showed you earlier where it says Bible. And then you can see if it was right side up at this point that it would be right side up at all the rest. Okay, so he never did that anymore. So now it's fake news, as he would probably say. Now, keep in mind, I'm a libertarian, so I don't like any of the people. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Biden fan. I have no ponies in this race. Kind of a joke about libertarians. We hate everybody, including ourselves, because we just we're not party loyal, you know, even to the Libertarian Party, other libertarians. We don't feel any need to agree with other libertarians, even if they're from our own party. So it's kind of like the lone wolf party, you know, it's like herding cats. That's libertarians. So when I say this, I don't have a political bent here. He didn't do it in this timeline, and in this timeline, I feel the video is quite different, where he's very deliberate, looks at the thing 3 effing times before holding it up, whereas before he was like, you know, and totally different attitude. So that kind of flips me out. I hope you guys remember I covered this before. I know it was a while ago. And yeah, my rice was yummy. Thank you. I don't know why it hit the spot today. You know how certain days you eat something and it's like, oh yeah, more of that. And then other days you're like, nah, I don't want that. So there's the ultimate live show. It just showed life. That was it. JJ's in, Shari's in. I forgot saying hi to everybody. I got so many to cover. I don't even want to spend too much time on other stuff. Universal consciousness is raising the behavior of all humans on the planet, even if they're not Mandela affected. Well, let's hope so, because, you know, it's kind of been a little bit of a cluster F in on the process, certainly. I don't remember. Oh, Shari was, yeah, she was on Recon saying she doesn't remember any of that, which is interesting, considering I had it on my show during the pandemic days. Just eat it, grab yourself an egg and beat it. You know, Joe, that's pretty funny, because I did right before the rice, I had eggs. So I really actually did. And although I tried to do over easies, one of them popped. So it did get a little beaten. Were the letters always filled for St. John's church words? You know, I just don't remember. I was kind of looking at it, and I didn't really remember this really being here. The whole Sunday services online, yam, yam, yam. At least I don't remember it being all clear like that. But you know, I kind of thought he just had a background. I don't even remember this. I remember a background of like stone steps or something, like old stinky church. You know, not, I don't want to say stinky, but it's an old church, and it was a little bit rough around the edges with the old stonework and stuff. And I remember that being the background, and like I don't remember boarded windows. I don't remember a balcony. I don't remember this, and I don't remember bushes. So, but I wasn't 100% on it. But for me, that's all different now. So, I mean, I'm not clear enough at that memory that I want to make a big thing out of it. But yeah, I was looking at the sign. Why are the windows boarded? See, I don't remember you being able to see that the windows were boarded, so you would even ask that. Okay, so if I remember correctly, I haven't checked this for a while, but there was, this was when there was a bunch of protests in near in Washington, I think, and Trump instructed the police to clear the area so he could give this speech here in front of this church. And there was a curfew, and the curfew had not ended yet, so they were basically clearing the protesters early, and it was rather brutal, and there was a lot of video of like of police smacking protesters with batons, even though they weren't even looking or doing anything, and like that. That's why part of it was the big stink that the area was cleared when it was still legal to be out at the time, and it was not, most of it wasn't not violent, but earlier, I think it was a day or two earlier, that church had gotten some vandalism. Now, what I remember is the vandalism was pretty minimal, and yet in this video, all the windows are boarded up. And see, that's another thing. I just don't really remember that. So, I mean, I probably should check the event and see if the whole storyline is different. But I don't remember any windows being boarded up, at least not visible in the video. I only remember the black thing behind him in a picture. There was nothing else, no explanation, no scandal. Huh, interesting. So maybe he just held up the Bible as normal and nobody claimed it was upside down. So this is just really weird because, like, then you got to wonder, okay, what is that word I used earlier? The disinfo or whatever of today was true in another timeline, you know, because now it's fake that people accused him of holding the Bible upside down. But in my timeline, all evidence pointed exactly to that, and Republicans had no comeback, because whenever I want to see if an accusation against a Republican is true or false, I have to go straight to the Republicans to see if they found anything, because there's thousands and thousands of them hunting for any evidence to protect their guy, you know, and there was none. The Republicans were just pretending not to have seen that, or they were poo-pooing it, like, who cares, that was just a mistake, you know, like that. That was all there was back then. So it's not South Carolina, it's D.C., I believe, if I remember correctly. Has anybody seen the blue lingcod? Yes, we've had that one on, Shari. The blue lingcod and a few others have blue flesh, and you can eat them. Fishies with the blue flesh. You know, it's weird because I know you were here for like every show. I think there's been a major bunch of shifting because, I mean, like, I've been talking to people and they're all different people. I think I said that like last week too. I noticed the word online on the sign when you were online tonight. I didn't know it. It was odd. Oh, really? It says, oh, you're right. Sunday service is online. It's not Sunday, but the Reverend Rob Fisher, rector. I'm waiting to see if it says anything about rice on here because I would totally freak out. Dinner at 9. Yeah. You're right. It does say that word. I don't even remember the vet. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the world's biggest stink, but everybody that disliked Trump were, of course, he held the Bible upside down, you know, because that's kind of a religious thing for devil worship, upside down Bible. Of course, the Republicans are like, you know, but now it's fake info. So I've got $5 from Abstract I Vote. I've never even figured out how to say your name. Abstract I Vote. Okay, I'm just going with that. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. And another $5. Wow, thank you. $5. I don't remember the blue fish. Don't remember what blue fish. Okay, I don't even know what we're talking about there. Okay, well, let's cruise on up. So, this one, okay, we've covered this before, the Pharyngeal Jaw, like the alien monster in the movie Alien, where you have one mouth with teeth and fangs, and inside there's another little mini mouth that come out and get out the first, it's all creepy. There's like two mouths, and it's called the Pharyngeal Jaw. It's like basically a second set of jaws inside the first set of jaws. And I've had this on, and this guy, the moray eel, has it. It's so creepy. And so the moray eel actually can shoot out the second set of jaws in between its first set of jaws and grab stuff. All right, so last I checked, I don't remember there being very many creatures that had it. They did have those fish called cichlids, and they had moray eels. Now, my original timeline, there is no effing way that cichlids had a pharyngeal jaw. In fact, I knew a guy who raised cichlids, and I had researched them some, and I was into freshwater aquarium fish, and they did not effing have a pharyngeal jaw. But anyway, but they did last time I checked. But it looks like it's kind of upgraded now, this pharyngeal jaw thing. First of all, there's more kinds. of fish and creatures that have it. It looks like it's mostly fish, but they're being real vague on it. And they're saying it evolved from gill slits, like the gills somehow turned into pharyngeal jaws. But they've also added this that was not on here before. A study conducted on cichlids showed that the pharyngeal jaws can undergo morphological changes in less than 2 years in response to their diet. Fish that ate hard-shelled prey had a robust jaw with molar-like teeth, fit for crushing their durable prey. Fish that ate softer prey, on the other hand, exhibited a more slender jaw with thin curved teeth used for tearing apart fleshy prey. So not only does the jaw shape change, but the actual effing teeth in there can change from molars to sharp pointy ones, or sharp pointy ones apparently back to molars according to what you eat. So this variability business due to environment didn't exist in my old timeline, and I could see the flexibility would be advantageous for survival, but that old Darwin's theory did not have this stuff in it. You could basically now, it seems like that, if you do something, your body just not just grows muscles, but it grows bone and teeth and all this stuff to fit this thing you're doing, So I'm just wondering, are we going to start to see more of this in the human realm eventually? I think we probably will, but it's not quite here yet, but I think we're going to see more and more of this. So these rapid changes are an example of phenotypic plasticity. That is the terminology it's using here. I have never heard of this term before, but it refers to some of the changes in an organism's behavior, morphology, and physiology in response to a unique environment. So yeah, behavior changes make sense, but now we have morphology, which is shape, and physiology in response to a unique environment. Fundamental to the way in which organisms cope with environmental variation, phenotypic plasticity encompasses all type of environmentally induced blah, 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 blah. I probably got to click on this, and I might in a minute. But so now they're just saying moray eels are special because they have more movement abilities for their second inner jaw, whereas the cichlids apparently, at least currently, aren't able to like shoot the second jaw out, whereas the morays can. But somewhere in here they also said something vague about one of the fishes, that cichlids are one of them. See if I can find that. Blah, blah, blah. The exceptional mobility of the moray eel's pharyngeal jaws were discovered in 2007. So they always knew, but now they only learned about the mobility. Almost 30 years before the fictional xenomorph species from the Alien film series depicted showing a second set of jaws for attacking its prey. However, at that time, pharyngeal jaws and other fishes were already known. Okay, so now they're saying that this alien from that movie was based on already known characteristics of fish. It's not so creepy now. We already had those, at least according to this thing. Blah, blah. Yeah, somewhere in there they said other fishes too, that have it. But then they were all vague about which other fishes. I tried to hunt it down, but I just couldn't get much other than other stuff that's kind of like cichlids that have it, like other fishes. So it really opens up the question mark about what creatures are going to show up with these pharyngeal jaws. And I think we're going to see, I've already covered that weird teeth are showing up in the mouths, in beyond the first row of teeth in other like birds and stuff. I think we're going to see more and more of this weird xenomorph alien second jaw business coming to town. I think we're just getting started on that. Okay, so stumbled on this, was watching that show What on Earth, and they started talking about artificial islands, and I think we're going to see more of this. I've covered islands before, but I have not seen a lot on these artificial islands. So they're saying like just Scotland alone has 600 approximately, super ancient, like before the Stonehenge type of islands that were artificially constructed. This is supposedly one of them. Right now they're kind of small. I think we're going to see that it expands. So this is one, and you can see it had some kind of bridge thingy. So it's not the most islandy of islands because it looks clearly like it was like an artificial knobby peninsula once you have a path to it. It's not an island, but so they're saying they carted like massive boulders and all this stuff to make these islands. Mysterious artificial islands in Scotland are thousands of years older than we thought, and they're calling these things crannogs, crannogs, crannogs was what they said on the TV show, assuming they even said it right, because a lot of the TV shows don't always. Humans didn't always dwell on dry land. Around Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, the foundations of thousands. Oh, it's thousands. I thought it was 600 a minute ago on another website. Thousands of mysterious artificial islands survive to this day, called crannogs. These strange structures were built long ago by prehistoric hands in the chilly water of rivers, lakes, and sea inlets. How long ago these things were shaped is something that's never been fully understood. I've never even freaking heard of these things. I know, in modern times we did that, but traditionally, archaeologists estimated Scottish crannogs appeared no earlier than the Iron Age, but first constructed around 800 BC. But in more recent years, evidence has come to light that these engineered structures could be much more ancient. A new study confirms the formations are actually thousands of years older than we realized. Okay, there's another one of these crannogs. Using radiocarbon dating, they're estimating 3,640 to 3,360 BCE. So 5,500 years ago, approximately, is what they're guesstimating. Firm emphasis on the guess part of it. Thousands ago, building mini islands by piling up many tons of rocks on the loch bed. I think this one isn't a lake, so a loch. All right, anyways, Neolithic pottery recovered from Loch Arnish in 2012. Blah, blah, blah. There's some other ones here. Oh, look, that one looks like the path to it is still intact. You can see a little bit of a path here that was underwater. This one, I can't see it, but it doesn't mean it wasn't there. There's another one. 6 crannogs that are produced Neolithic material. Sometimes a stone causeway leads out to the island. At other sites, no causeway seems to exist, suggesting the crannog might have been accessed by boat or perhaps a wooden bridge. It is thought that crannogs may have borne wooden structures, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no evidence exists, so who the heck knows? They would have required a huge investment of labor to build and probably remain significant places for a long time. Anyways, crannogs. I have just not heard of these, and there's thousands. I bet you that we're going to see more of that kind of thing. And while I was hunting it, that came up. You feel like I had a double day. I don't know. I'm totally disconnected from time anymore. Tech ball. Did we have tech ball? Tech ball. There are so many new, old, sports. Are we gonna have one sport per person now or something? Tech ball. Tech ball. Ooh, no, I don't know what this is. A ball sport that is played on a curved table, combining elements of football and table tennis. Second Tech Ball World Cup 4 years ago. All right, let me just watch a little clip of this. The World Cup should show the good stuff. I have never heard of this thing before. Football. It's football on a table. Okay. Hold on. Why is it not showing up all the way here? I'm going to turn that off. I don't want to see the boring stuff. I just want to see some tech ball. All right. All right, there it looks like, whoa. Okay, so, when they say football, they mean American soccer. Okay, here we go. Kick. Whoop. So, this is like table tennis with a football and feet, as best I can tell. Here comes a serve. What, that's a fail? I don't know how many serves they get, but apparently another one. This is the weirdest business ever. So you can hit your own one. You can like set it up to yourself. This is weird. I have never heard of this. Okay. All right. I don't want to play any more clip because I don't want to get in trouble. Tech ball. All right. When did it get invented? History. Okay, it was invented in 2012. Okay, so it's not that old. Still a little weird, but it's can't call Mandela if it's only 2012. But keep an eye on it because sometimes these things go backward in time. Have you looked at Transylvania University in Kentucky? No, I haven't. All right, let's see. Mandanimal by Shari. Up. Studio dot. Okay, I think I could take that. If I remember right, I have to take off that word studio to make that work. Heaven forbid they should make it that you could just go there. Oh, okay, it's more tech ball. Here comes the smash. Doink. I don't know, we're gonna have like a sport for everybody now, like literally. Thousands. Don't get it. He's kicking the ball over a table. I don't know. How do you get these things started? Pickleball. Pickleball has the coolest name so far. When Arnie walks into the bar, do you guys remember him having a bit of a hairy chest, or was he smoothly waxed like his bodybuilding look? I don't remember Arnie ever having a hairy chest in any of the movies, personally. Again, this is not one I would stake my life on, but every day is solar flare. Yeah. Let's see, what did happen? Okay, so double days. I feel like I missed a day. So I've said before that I I every morning I get up and I weigh myself and I take my temperature. I'm just tracking that info. And I swear I have done it every day. And a couple days ago, I realized that there was a gap. Like I must not have done it the day before. And I don't know, maybe I just forgot. But it's like I swear I did it every day and I wrote it down every day. And I didn't think I forgot any. And yet I had missed the day before because I had info from 2 days ago and not that day. And so beats me. But I don't remember missing a day as far as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. So I don't know. Arnold always smooth and shiny. Yeah, see, that's what I remember. In fact, when you said that about the hairy chest, I don't think I've ever seen an image of Arnold Schwarzenegger having hair on his chest, like ever. You know, for whatever reason, he waxed it, whatever. I just never saw that. That's why I'm like, he has hair? He has hairy chest? I don't. Oh, he has weird chest hairs. Yeah. Now, that wouldn't be the weirdest thing because he doesn't have that goofy accent so much anymore. You know, I'll be back. Now he just says it like more like normal. Just little bit of accent. He used to have a way thicker accent. Now it's just little bit. So the whole joke is like now ridiculous because he doesn't say it like that. Yeah, he's not the Bach anymore. I don't know if you dig up the I don't know where that scene is, and it would take me a long time to find it. So that's why if you can dig up the exact link or something, then I can like if you find it, let me know, and then I think I'll just give you the wrench and then you could post the link. I don't think you can do links otherwise. Okay, so I was like looking for islands because of the crannogs. And I had somewhere in there had glanced that there was a really large artificial island that they finally found that they recently, or not recently, but they found from ancient times that it was really big, like miles, like 200 miles or something. I saw a glance of it. I'm like, oh, I'll come back to that. And I come back and I couldn't find it. And I was looking and looking and I cried uncle. I couldn't find that. I wanted to dig more into it and I couldn't find it. But while I was looking, I found this. So I'm a little confused and it could be I'm remembering wrong, but I've had this on before. And I know there's a couple of them, but I don't remember any of them really being done and like inhabited at all. And now one of them is the Palm Jumeirah, Dubai, was like 2/3 inhabited with houses and people living on it and everything as of 5th of January 2013. So you can say it was recent because this was before I even knew about the Mandela. It certainly wasn't something that I had on the show a few years ago. So, yeah, this one is like now, I don't know where exactly it is now. I think it's still, there might be a little bit more to do, but basically you can see most of the fronds, this is supposed to be a palm tree, are occupied. There's houses, there's resort stuff on here, and boom, chaka, it's done. And then other ones are in progress, but they have not been, like they have another one of these that looks like a palm tree, but it doesn't have any houses and stuff on it. So what I remember last time is they built one up until just the sand, and that was all. And they had another one that they barely got started on. It's just the sand, and then they quit. So now they have one that's mostly done, and then the other one is just sand. But then there's a third one that looks like it's supposed to be the shape of the world, that is hardly touched and looks all goofy. So these are coming along like backwards in time, and I think we're going to get a bunch more of this stuff. They're cool. So this is in Dubai. So yeah, okay, so Mandela for me. Dong, dong, dong. That was not done. It was not viable. It's kind of like the Venice Beach, LA canals that were originally not viable and a commercial failure. now we're done and are cool and we're viable. So same for this islands. Okay, then I was just kind of stumbling around, and the show that was on TV had this thing on, the Potash Wars of California. Like, what? And it was like around San Bernardino County, Mojave, not Mojave, yeah, Mojave, that kind of area, Searles Lake, blah, blah, blah. I've never heard of this Potash Wars. So now they're saying, oh, potash was so valuable, it was like almost as valuable as gold. And there was all this potash claim jumping. And there was like little mini wars in 1910. And supposedly Wyatt Earp was involved in some of the mini world wars. Have you ever heard of this? October 1910, 44 new Los Angeles claim jumpers. They were going to claim jump the potash claims. Arrived at Searles, which is like a lake region. Their leader was Henry E. Lee. I'm like, what? So it's got a war name, Henry E. Lee, like the Civil War, but it's another guy, an Oakland attorney. The group I think they meant had, surveyors, laborers, and 20 men armed gunmen. 20 men armed gunmen. Who wrote this thing? The leader of the guards gunmen was Wyatt Earp. Okay, then they say later that Wyatt Earp and all his people were later, blah, blah, let's see, arrested or something. On October 25th, 1910, a U.S. Marshal came and arrested Earp and 27 of his men and served them with a summons from Judge Charles W. Slack. So what he arrested him and he's like for 5 seconds and said, here's your summons. I mean, have you ever heard of Wyatt Earp getting arrested for claim jumping a potash claim? And then they gave him a summons and said, okay, bye, see you in court. I mean, did they even do that kind of stuff? I thought that it's like you got a big ticket or something. I don't know. Like Wyatt Earp's going to show up in court later because you gave him a summons. I've never heard any of this crap. The Nick Cataldo claimed that Earp was working at the request of Tom Lewis, a Los Angeles Police Department commissioner. He also claimed that Austin and 3 armed men came into Earp's camp and told the Lee party to depart. I don't know. It's like a whole weird thing, and there's no, like, this guy claims this, and this guy claims that, and blah, 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 and, I don't know. It's just a weird story. I've never heard of any of that crap. The Potash Wars. I don't know. You guys ever heard of that? Californians? It was to be 3 palms, but they could not build the biggest palm, Dyra one. So for me, they built like 1.5 palms out of sand, and then they quit. Now, I don't know what it was supposed to finally be, but they got 1.5 sand palms, and that was it. So now they have one viable or somewhat viable whole palm tree, basically. The other one is completed as a sand form only, and the world one is sand, as far as I can tell, but I couldn't find a very good image of it, so that was interesting too. Anybody remember Africa not connected to the Middle East? Joe Bloor. I don't remember there being a whole lot of Muslims going on in North Africa. And I've definitely seen a whole bunch of that now where they're like, oh, all of Africa is not black. Only the one part of it is, and the north part is Muslims. And they had slave trades, and then some of the slaves could convert to Muslims and be free, and if they had kids, they were usually considered free, even if the slave wasn't. All this stuff, I was just seeing it like this week too, so I don't know if you guys heard of any of that crap, because I sure haven't. I mean, yeah, Egypt was there, and it was always a question of what Egypt even was, like, were they black people, white people, and a lot of people said all different races, and nobody cared about race in Egypt. And that was kind of my main knowledge of there maybe not being black people in Africa, because nobody knew what Egyptians were, because the way the paintings were, you really couldn't see, you know, what their nose shape was like and stuff. They kind of did have like a dreadlock hair thing, and dark hair, but other than that, but then they weren't painted really dark. I mean, they were painted like light skinned. So, like, what were Egyptians? I guess we'll find out eventually as we get a few shifts in. Maybe they were different things in different timelines, so they just kept it kind of neutral for this timeline, like mystery meat. In a way, that's too bad, all that effort and money. Well, I think we'll get all that stuff. We just need some more shifts. It's coming into the timeline. All that stuff, a bunch of stuff seems to start as failed. Like, it just seems like a lot of things where I was told they tried to do this and failed. In another timeline, they didn't fail. And the failed remnants are like the edges of that existence in our timeline, and somewhere else it worked. So some timelines, those things have been made. I think we're going to get there, though. We're going to get to the timeline where there's a bunch of these palms. Because like I said, I swear that one was not viable and built up on. And now it was back in 2013 even. Africa was never touching the Middle East until now. I think I don't know what I interpreted it as is there's a bunch of Muslims who were living on the north end and aren't black and weren't black. Does anybody remember something about a strange moon would be out and they said on that night to take a broom and stand it up straight? I don't remember. I remember a million different videos about strange moons. It seems like we have one like once a month now. But that stand up a broom thing is another thing. Brooms can stand up by themselves now. And I've had that on the show. There's a lot of weird physics here. A lot. So there's now a viral, last I checked, there's these viral videos where people figure out that brooms magically can stand up by themselves. I think it's just different physics. You can see people flipping their gizzard while these brooms stand up on their own. All right. I don't know why this video won't play. All right, I don't want to hear all the yapping. Let's get to the good part where they do the standing. Talkity talk talk. Yeah, yeah. Just put the broom down. All right. Here he is. Let's make it large. Boop. Okay, and it works for the other, like, brooms that looks like it won't stand up now, too. So I'm like, I don't know why everybody just doesn't pluck their broom on the ground and just let it stand, but, because you could do that in this timeline, but, you know, that's one thing I never even tried lately since I heard of that. I think I forgot. Yeah, so, okay, that's the timeline I'm in is a year or two ago. I don't know, how long ago was that? They started saying brooms will stand up by themselves. Everybody was freaking out. But it had nothing to do with the moon, for me. Would not be surprised if in some timelines it did. Why not? So yes, apparently they do. Does anyone remember seeing a YouTube guy in the Philippines or Malaysia? While fishing, he caught a marlin with tattoos. Marlin with tattoos. Okay, let's give it a shot. Now, I do remember videos, I've had them on, where they were tattooing animals like pigs and stuff. Somebody was tattooing pigs. That was pretty weird. God, Marlin with tattoos. Somehow, it just seems like we should have that in our timeline, but I don't remember seeing it. Woo hoo hoo hoo. Here we go. Here we go. Actually, this is sounding a little familiar now. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. I do think I remember that one. Now that you mention it. Fishmongers left baffled by tattooed fish complete with intricate coat of arms. Yes, I think I had this one on. The 2-meter-long blue marlin was snapped with intricate design. Looks fairly realistic. They have a lot of different different images of it. I think there was some kind of story, like a plastic bag got stuck on it or something. He said the markings had been caused by a t-shirt he placed on top of the newly caught fish. This was probably caused by some sort of trash or fabric that had embedded in the fish's skin and over time imprinted the design onto it. Just a thought. Okay, so one guy said he put a t-shirt. I don't see how a t-shirt with a coat of arms suddenly gets on the whole fish. Somebody else said it was a trash bag. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't remember anything about the t-shirt. I do remember about the trash bag theory. So none of that really makes sense. Why do you put a t-shirt over the fish? You have a good shirt and you put it over a fish, a stinky, rotten, dead fish. Who does that? That seems weird too. I don't know. The whole thing's weird. Okay. Weird was before and weird still is. Germany sure never had beaches. I agree. It was landlocked before. Yep. Germany, Sweden, Norway, everything. But those two especially. Yeah, Germany is now coastal. It used to be landlocked. For me, what was on top of it was actually Sweden and Norway. And then Sweden and Norway and them jumped over and stuck onto part of Russia instead of being on the toppy-tippy of Europe like they used to. They used to sprout off at the top of Europe. Now they sprout off the edge of Russia. What the F on these brooms? I know. You know, my brain just blotted it out. I've never even tried it. I was sweeping and sweeping for the move and the cleanup for the business. I had to, you know, sweep out everything at the old barn. After I said that to you, my computer shut down. Yeah, I don't know. This is a reality trying to tell you something. I just busted into a bag of Tostitos, formerly Tostinos, of course. I just tried, but my broom is tilted and won't stay upright. Ah, well, maybe you're in your old timeline still. Watch my broom. It's titled Imgur. Hopefully I won't get a copyright since it's you. Look at that, and it's quite tilted too. It's just so ridiculous. I don't know. I swear physics is just different. I don't know. It's just wrong. I've got to remember to try that. I did a close-up on the pic, and there are mermaids on top of the coat of arms. That is the tattoo. Only the royals have a coat of arms. I just don't get why it would be a t-shirt that first of all, that was a very long, let me just look at that thing again. Now it's bugging me. All right. So one t-shirt, how long? The markings go from here to here. At least it's here. But it really looks like there's issues all the way out here. How long is this t-shirt? I mean, do you have squirrely, weird patterns? I mean, that looks like a pretty long area. So, I mean, is the shirt like double length, you know, and this is an area where people are not fat Americans. So, see, nobody's fat and has a t-shirt. Okay, so say this woman's t-shirt was on there. It would go from here to here, you know, before you ran out of fabric. So I don't think I get it. I don't get how that could be a t-shirt. Okay, I sweep every day all the time and the broom always falls down. Now you said this and it's just standing here. I don't know, what's the why can brooms stand up? I don't know. I think that I didn't even look, it just said they could. What causes brooms? It has everything to do with balance. Duh. The center of gravity is low on a broom and rests directly over the bristles. If you can get the bristles positioned like a tripod. This is just wrong. So they're just saying the center of gravity's here, so this doesn't matter. I don't know, gravity is going to have to be different or something for this. Okay, so NASA said today was the day a broom could stand up on its own because of gravitational pull. Okay, so there's a bit of that timeline you were talking about. A viral tweet suggests that NASA said Monday was the only day the standing broom trick would work because of the Earth's gravitational pull. Okay, so there's that meme that you mentioned. But really, they'll do it on any day. So is this viral meme like how the timeline interjected this new storyline? Like, the joke is that it's only on Monday, but actually it works every day. Duh. I've noticed that Mandela, like, the timeline likes to introduce Mandelas like that. It'll say something outlandish like that, and then it'll say, oh no, just kidding, that's not true, it's fake disinformation. Actually, the only truth is this, and then it'll give you a slightly less wacky truth that still was not in my timeline. It is still wacky. It's just less wacky than the first. It's like when you make an offer on a car and you offer more than you're really willing to, like more than you really expect to get. Like I say, I need $500 for that, but really I'll take $350, you know? Oh, that's, I don't know. It just seems like some kind of weird bargaining thing that the Mandela does, or the timeline. So so that's the story, that the center of gravity's low. I see people jumping much higher. I see, like motorcycles can drive around a whole loop-de-loop without, used to be if you tried to drive a loop-de-loop, gravity would make you fall off the loop-de at the top. But now you can go all the way around it. And, so gravity and physics must have changed. We jump higher, brooms stand up, all this kind of baloney. Maybe gravity is stronger. I don't think so, just because of those other things I said, where people can jump higher and like that. It might just be different in general, though. Some of the math might just be different. They use ovals now to do loops. They used to use circles. Oh, interesting. My legs have felt more pulled down. I'm lightweight, skinny legs, but I have felt pulled down. I remember SMQ and Chick covering the levitating spiders. Yeah, the ballooning spiders, and they use like ions to float and all this kind of stuff. For reals, you can't tattoo underwater, but you live in the water to have culture like humans do. What or draw on that fish? I don't know. We can't just sweep this under the rug. Ha ha. Yeah, you do gotta wonder what's gonna happen with this tattoo story, though. Okay. Here we go. That's done. That's done. What are we on next? We covered an hour. Potash Wars, crannogs, Jumeirah. Don't think I've made that much progress. Okay, this one I ran into on YouTube.
Early life conditions and skincare.
Stop. Is this Vsauce? Yes. Okay. So we've talked before about people apparently lifespans being longer. I don't remember people living to 120. I kind of really remember that once you were about 50 or 60 or 70, you were about to kick the bucket. I'm glad that's not true now because I'm getting there. However, you know, days being so much shorter and everything, you know, maybe that's why we have more of them. However you want to look at it, though, it brings up a dilemma, pardon the pun, if you have memories of your parents looking a certain way when they were a certain age, it's going to be tricky for the Mandela to have changed those realities for everybody. So it makes sense that your look of your parents, you know, in your old photos and stuff wouldn't change drastically because probably everybody would freak out. Oh my, can you imagine everybody's parents suddenly looked younger in their old photos? It'd be a lot of, that would probably get attention. So your mother's gonna be 50 and looking old, right? If she looked old in the old days, she's still gonna look old in the current photos of her at that age. However, if everybody's living longer, and you know, we talk about this all the time, you look so young, you look so good for your age, blah, blah, blah. Well, I think everybody looks good for their age because aging is different now. So how do they, as using conventional explanations, explain away this situation where 50-year-olds from the 70s looked really pretty old and wrinkly, and 50-year-olds now look like they're late 30s, early 40s. You know, people are not aging the same. So that's what this video tries to do, and it's actually hilarious because it shows all images of people, even people when they were like 20 looking like pretty old in the old days at like 20, and saying, well, why do people look older in the old days when they were the same age as some people in this? And the explanation they came up with made me laugh so hard is that they said, well, people are healthier now. And so that's why, and I totally don't buy it. And I don't really have time to dig it up right now, but I actually looked at the average age of death going back to the 60s, 70s to now. And what I found was that from around the 70s, until rather recently, the average age of death increased about 5 years. Okay. So it's slowly creeping up. So you could make an argument that we're 5 years healthier. But then I looked in the same range and I found that the average mortality at birth improvement was 6 years. So what that means now granted, the mortality at birth for the recent years won't show up until like way later in the 50s on the most part, but basically what that shows is that the death rate for babies and little kids and young ones has dropped possibly as much as or even more than the death rate has improved. So that actually would mean we're less, if that statistic of birth survival is gone up faster than the death rate has gone up, the overall old age death rate. That actually means to me, I mean, I'm not a math expert, but that indicates to me that of the people who survive past childhood, we're actually dying a little earlier than we were maybe 70, 80, 90 years ago. And the only reason that the overall death rate is improving is because of survival rates, keeping kids alive. Okay. Maybe improved birthing techniques and that kind of thing. Preemies, like we've gotten really good at having premature children survive, so that's going to cut way back on the death rate of babies and newborns and stuff. So that means we're not healthier, I would say. I think there's really a huge question of us actually being healthier, and them trying to explain away the fact that everybody looked like old geezers when they were 50 in the old days, and now you look okay when you're 50. The health thing can't explain. That's what they use, though. That's what they use. And I also don't think the difference can be explained by 5 years of lifespan, because that's just, the difference looks like more like at least 10 years of youngerness now, at least, not just 5. So that's their explanation. Yeah, and then staying out of the sun, and I've never done that either. And so anyway, I just thought it was weird because you've got conventional explanations struggling to explain away this weird phenomena this way. And also, I found it kind of a revelation when I noticed that birth rate, the birth survival thing. For a long, long time, like my whole effing life, I've always felt that we must be making some improvements on health, or at least biomedical technology and stuff, because at least the death rate was slowly getting better. This average age of life was slowly getting better. So that meant something, right? And then I realized this week that, wait a minute, it's probably the reverse, because we're just getting better at having preemies survive. So a whole nother way to think about that. Cute picture of the cat with the broom. The cat's probably waiting for the other shoe to fall. Look at him looking at it. So, of course, I won't make any witch jokes at all. I'm way above such things. Something's fishy about the tattoo thing. Yes, agree with that too. You got a black kitty there, but, that has nothing to do with the broom, of course. I get along extra good with black kitties, I've noticed, even if they are a little aloof and reserved. I don't know. I never really thought of cats having a special personality according to their color, but lately I keep running into it, and when I look back on it, I'm like, So they have this subreddit that's nothing but cats like getting startled and acting like nutballs. And I looked, I'm like, half the cats on here are calicos. Like, they all look like the same cat. But then when I looked carefully, they each had different splat patterns. So they weren't the same cat. But it was like, this is the same cat getting scared over and over again. I'm like, nope. Must be a calico thing. I don't know. Every day it's Friday. I wish so. I like Fridays. I have a lot easier time of it after Friday because Thursday night I get ready for Friday. So my assistant magically showed up on Monday. I don't know how that worked. I think I mentioned that she come down with the COVID while she was on the East Coast. And I'm like, well, she's got to get better from COVID. She had a bunch of symptoms. She went on the Paxlovid. And that all, was not that long ago. I'm like, well, she's going to have to wait 10 days after diagnosis and be symptom free before she can get on the plane. And that's going to be at least 10 days. Then on Monday morning, suddenly I see somebody is shipping product from my store. Now, I'm pretty sure that nobody broke into my store and then started shipping stuff. It had to be her. I get an email from her that she's back and she wants to work a bit. Like, okay, but how did you get on the plane when you were sick with COVID? Don't ask me how she got back to the West Coast. I don't know. She still got symptoms, but she wanted to go to work. I'm like, I thought we're supposed to isolate when we have COVID. So I've just been making sure I don't go down there when she goes down there, just to be on the safe side. But I mean, this is a person that's vaccinated and boosted to the nines, was wearing the mask, the whole 9 yards. Now apparently she magically got back here on the plane with COVID and is not isolating. You can't make this stuff up. I don't know. It's freakier when you wake up during twilight and think it's morning or evening. That used to freak me out, but I'm like so used to being confused now. I'm sort of getting used to it. I'm getting used to not knowing. Some teens do look old. They look matured, but they don't look old. I don't know. Like they look too big, too tall, too muscular, like that. But they don't look, So yeah, I would say the teens look old, but then after high school, no. Now they look younger. I'm going to be 40, can't believe it. I feel like I'm regressing in age mentally. I don't know. I do actually feel like I've gotten more mature mentally, but physically, this is not, I don't think, how it would have went if in my mother's era. I think in many ways, I've gotten stronger. It shouldn't work like that. People used to look 80 when they were 50 back then. Well, I think they just looked like they were 50. They looked 50 when they were 50, and then you died when you were 60 or 70. But now you look, 40 when you're 50, and you die when you're 80, 90. Also, for the first time in my life, I had full moon in the middle of the day, in the middle of the sky, and sun coming up at the same time. That doesn't happen currently in this timeline, though. We went through a phase where you could have that, but now you can't have... So now when the moon is full, it's pretty much on the opposite side of the sun. So I don't think you could have that now. There was a while you could have that, but not in the current timeline. Guys turned into full men in college years. I feel like some high school kids are just buffed out, like they're 14. It's like Trump's son. He's like 6'5" and stuff. I mean, like, no kids grew to 6'5" when they were 13. They were getting there at 17, 18 maybe. But when you were that tall, you weren't that tall when you were like freaking 13. Sky used to be so black at night, and now it seems light no matter... Yes, the black sky. Genie Farmer. I do remember that. I very much remember that. It's a little bit easier to forget now, but I don't want to forget. I'm glad you remember it. Mr. Miyagi was 40 when he was in the original Karate Kid. See, exactly. And you never questioned it. You never said, oh, that guy looked so old. Not at the time. Because that's how you looked when you're 40. Shari, you're in Dubai now. Wow, I watch an ASMR guy from Dubai. He made me want to go there. I don't know, as long as they're not going to mess with me for being female, I might go there. One of these days when I get super massively, well, no, I don't think I need to be super massively rich, but a little bit richer and have somebody who can hold down the fort at work, which is also a biggie. I mean, I could probably scrape up the money if I wanted to, but somebody's got to keep the business running. So I'm going to try to manifest the reality that the business will get better and there'll be the right person to hold down the fort. My General Sorrow, my husband works here and I enjoy. Well, cool. I think Dubai is fairly kind of westernized enough you could be okay. I don't know. I'm not an expert on there, though. Okay, so where am I on the spiel? I've got 40 minutes to get my business together here. All right, ran into this one. Eagle rays. Okay, so there's another kind of those manta rays and the stingrays, and there's a bajillion different kinds of rays now. And there's one called eagle rays. And so they look kind of like the manta rays, but they got this weird, funny cow face. And they're like, you can see the colorations are really neat. They just look like some kind of wallpaper design or something. But then I guess this is why they call them eagle, because their face is weird. See how their face is? It's just kind of, I don't know. Their body is bigger. So mantas and stingrays, they were kind of flat. But these guys, they have these beautiful patternings. They've got this weird, like, it almost looks like kind of a dolphin head. And then they also have, instead of just being more triangle here, they have these little paddle fin things, like feet or something, back here. But what was extra interesting about these things is apparently the wingspan of these fin things can get to be like 23 feet. So these guys ain't all that tiny. They can get huge. I mean, I'm sure they're tiny for a while, but wowza. 23 feet. Okay, so here's one that's a little bigger, but you can see he's not that big. He's not 23 feet. So see, he's got his little paddly feet here. I have not seen a guy with these little paddly feet. It's almost like it's going backwards. And see, now there's this big humpy head thing here. And I think that's the rest of the head under there. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like it's some kind of nostrils thing, actually. I'm not sure what's going on with these things, but this one is supposed to be... I think that's how I'm going to recognize them, if the little paddly feet things. And it's called eagle ray. Okay, so there's, I guess, the mouth, the eyes, and there's some kind of, it looks like they've got blowholes or something, actually. I'm going to have to check that out. Although, aren't they underwater? So, is that gill slits there? But they're looking like blowholes. Very suspiciously like blowholes. And you can see here they're on the top, where you would normally have blowholes. What's this one? Are you gonna start opening here? Okay, so it looks like they siphon off the ground. So this thing must be like opening up its mouth, like the upper half of its mouth, like a giant piglet or something, and snarfing up along the bottom here. The ear, I don't, it's weird. It doesn't really have normal gill slits. It kind of does, but it kind of looks like ears, and they're they're kind of placed over here where you'd normally have, like a mammal would have ears. So it's like a half dolphin, half manta ray or something here, with a little bit of, there's another creature that has a thing like this that I can't quite remember, with a very nice patterning on them. Yeah, it looks like they've got snoofle power here. Their upper lip can stick out all weird. All right, now I'm assuming they're not really blue because that would be pretty freaky. Or purple, I think would be the color. All right, it's going pretty slow. Let's see what else is on here. All right, I think we got to go on to the next guy. So I've had these guys on a bunch. But every time I look at them, they look different. Just checking to see if I've remembered. So far, these are all mine this week. Genenuk, or however the heck you pronounce these things. These things are different every time I look at them. An older Mandela, but they just keep upgrading and upgrading and changing. And I feel like they're just getting even more elvish every time I look at them. These genenuk. So there's almost no head left. I mentioned before that they were getting this wide white stuff around the eyes, but I feel like it's very much expanded. So the white is more extensive and wider. The face is almost not there anymore. It used to have more of a normal head, but the head is like shrinking away. It's getting very gracile or elvish. Then there's like these tufts of hair here, but like a flattened area through there. The ears are getting bigger. The patterning inside the ears is getting more. The weird black padding. So first it was just colors with the black, but now we've got these beautiful fur inside the ear. The crenulations on the horns are getting more extreme. Every time I look at it, it's like, it looks like the face is just thinned down so much now. It's like a Skeletor face. I mean, it's barely bigger than the neck now. I mean, look at them. They look silly. They're almost like a stereotype of themselves. If that makes any sense. The other thing I've noticed in a number of animals is wonky horns. You can see it there. Almost no head. This one really brings it to life. It's like the head is shrinking away. Look at that. So we've got all horn now, and there's almost no head. The head was significantly larger in comparison to the neck and the horns. But now we've got more neck, more horns, and less head. All right, now this is the famous first image that ever showed up. Although it seems a little bit shrunk. Yeah, that's that first. So if you remember that first image, look at how much smaller the head looks now from the first time you remember seeing that image. Because I swear this is the first image here that ever showed, or at least it's very close to that. Actually, the first image I ever remember seeing, there was the tree up here, and it was reaching up for that. But I mean, look at how tiny that head is now. It looks ridiculous, especially in proportion with the body. I mean, it's just like, I mean, that's just, it's just wrong. You know, and also I would say the neck looks like it has gotten longer and more slender. I mean, I feel like somebody photoshopped that one or something. It is just not right. The proportions are not right. It looks like some other animal's head stuck on here, and then somebody photoshopped the neck to somehow fit with the tiny head. It's all wrong, and it wasn't that ridiculous last time I looked at it. I'm going to see if I can find another one. Okay, here's another one. It's almost a little camel-like in a way. All right, so again, it kind of shows the proportions. I really want to find another one of those standing ones, though. I really actually can't find that exact original image. That might be gone now. These things overall look like they've become a little more just dainty and small, thinner creature in this timeline than last time I've seen them. This one really shows the coloration has gotten so much more interesting on it. Look at that thing. So yeah, somebody had said, "Hey, have you ever heard of these?" Oh no, that I think is some kind of a filter on there or something. That's why it looks so weird. Somebody said, "Have you heard of these genenuks?" I'm like, "Well, yeah," but then I looked again. I'm like, "Man, that's not right. It's not right." All right, here's another, just to make sure that other one wasn't actually somehow photoshopped. Yes. Okay, so again, you can see how tiny the head. The ears are huge, though, so it gives the head a little bit more meat. I think this neck definitely is thinner now that I'm looking at it. I feel like these front legs are thinner, too. These things have just become more elvish, more ridiculous. The legs are way thinner. Yeah. I was kind of looking at the other one that had the legs up. These legs are way thinner. They look absurdly thin, like they'll break like twigs, that they can't hold this thing up. This is actually ridiculous the more I look at it. Look at those little twiggy legs. I mean, you're used to kind of seeing the end part of a deer leg being delicate, but not all the way up like that. This is just twig legs. Look at that. There's not even any room for the muscle in there. Muscles must have gotten way more effective if the thing is effective at running with them twig legs. That's like ridiculous. It's like a cartoon character. It's impossible. Does anyone really know what snarf means? I don't know. I always use it as like greedily gathering everything up, like mine. But not like in a really mean way. Just like I'm a little bit selfish and grabby, but I'm not like, but in a joking way. That's how I consider it. That's the definition I use for snarf. But I do remember that, didn't the cartoon characters just used to say snarf, snarf or something? Yeah, see, like if you're oinking up all the Tostitos, you're snarfing them. That would be how I would use it. It doesn't have anything to do with smelling or creepiness in my knowledge of the word. It's just like a cartoon jokey word. Neck is wrong, head's too small. Yeah. Why is the head so small? Yeah, so you guys are all seeing it. It seems like, it's made a big jump since last time I've seen it. Don't say anything when you have friends come over. Do that with your broom. Yeah, actually, I could go, hey, check out this magic trick. I bet you don't know how to do this. And they'll be all freaking out, not realizing that they could do it too, because nobody knew they could do it unless they were watching the viral videos a few years ago. So anybody who hasn't into viral videos, you could fool. I'm wondering if these animals produce musk. Okay, let's check it out. I'm not going to make any jokes about people trying to buy Twitter. Genenuk produces musk. The giraffe gazelle. Now, last time, or some times ago, there was some kind of yammer about them maybe being related to giraffes. I don't know if that's panned out. And there was a time when none of them had the horns, and the horns showed. Now the horns are getting longer and longer. Two subspecies have been proposed. That's a new one now. LW sclateri, northern genenuk, or Sclatter's gazelle. And LW walleri. Now, interestingly, they said two subspecies have been proposed, but they didn't describe in any way how any of them are different from the other one. In 1997, Colin Groves proposed that Lidocranus, is that what this is? Lidocranus? Lidocranus walleri, yes, okay. Is a sister taxon of the similarly long-necked Debatog, but withdrew this from this into that. So what's a Debatog? The Debatog, or Clark's gazelle, is a medium-sized slender antelope native to Ethiopia and Somalia, not a true gazelle. It's similarly marked with long legs and neck, often confused with genenuk due to their striking. I don't remember Clark's gazelle looking like that. What in the F? That is so... Wait, all right. What's Clark's gazelle looking like? They did not look like that. Now, I remember the word Clark's gazelle being this kind of, you know, sort of looking like that, but not like a genenuk. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. They aren't. Is that a Clark's gazelle or is it a genenuk? Why am I getting all these genenuk ones when I'm pretty sure? Is that a Clark's or a genenuk? Grant's gazelle. Well, I'm pretty sure that... No, I don't know. That has to be a genenuk. Gere. Okay, that's a genenuk with the white stuff around the eyes. So I type in Clark's gazelle and I get 10,000 images of a genenuk. That's very irritating. All right, I'm pretty sure that's a Clark's. No, that's a Adra. Okay. Let's try maybe the scientific name. Amodorcus clarki. Yes. Let's try that. Why am I getting shapewear? Okay. This, I don't remember him having this long a neck. Clark's gazelle, for me, they were looking a little more normal. I mean, that's just an image, but still, I mean, the neck with the big long neck, I think, I've not that I've been watching these because I thought they were old school, but what are they going to try to, like, combine these two species? Why do I keep getting the genenuks when I type in Clark gazelle stuff? All right, I'm pretty sure that's a Clark's. I feel like these necks and stuff and these horns have definitely changed. I mean, does the timeline so desperately want me to see these genenukes that they're forcing them on me even when I type in a Clark's? All right, so we've got really thin legs again on the Clark's. It's too thin. I mean, they just don't look like they'd make it. Okay, this is definitely Clark eye, so it's Clark's design. These legs are too thin. The neck is too long. That really looks like a genenuk, though. This is weird. I can't figure this mess out. All right, let me see if I can find it in the wiki, and then... There was only one thing that looked like a genenuk before. There was not something that almost looked the same. Will we get an image only drawn? Why do we not have a photo of these things? I mean, you can't tell me. These things are common. There's a bajillion of them, and Wiki doesn't have one effing photo? So they do look a ton like the gerenuks, but you don't see that patterning in the ear. This may be a little more curved this way. A little bit darker on the snout. But they're really close. And when I try to find images of these, Clark's gazelle, I find 10 million gerenuks. Well, Clark's gazelle is old school for me. But they didn't look like this. They didn't have this slender neck and these freaking stick legs. They didn't look like gerenuks. This is all crazy talk. Okay, I give up. I cry uncle. Foobar replace snafu. I'm actually not sure what snafu stands for. I know what foobar stands for. High energies are kicking everybody's butt. I'm actually doing okay this week. I don't know. Maybe I've turned a corner. I pray I have. I've been working really hard to be more positive and think more positive and weeding out all the million ways I don't think positive, or at least some of the big ones. It's still uphill battle in some ways, but in other ways I think I'm making good progress. And maybe that's helping. I don't know. I do feel like I started this way back in the 90s with these symptoms, so I might have gotten an early start on the suffering. Flamingos have a nose hole through their beak, and you can see right through. I think I had that one on. Yeah, sounds weird. Yeah, look at Brad Pitt in the movie Troy. He was in his 40s. Yeah, so I don't know. There's something off, and they just have to explain it somehow. Snarf means gorging food very fast like a scarf. Oh, okay, like scarfing, but it's like snarfing. Okay, that makes sense. I don't feel like anything is real anymore. Yeah. I feel like everything is fake. Maybe it always was fake. I think it may have always been fake. But because things didn't change, because everything was kind of seeming permanent and solid, because it didn't change and it didn't do weird things, it was a lot easier to think of reality as the solid set thing. I'm very suspicious that it never was, but since it changed so slowly, you didn't notice and you had a different perception and opinion about reality. That is my guesstimate. I wouldn't swear to it, though. So you're seeing through the baloney, you're seeing through the fakeness. I suspect that's what it is. Okay, so we got gerenukes. I don't even know how to say it. Let's see. Is it it's gerenuk. I think that's it, right? Garanug. Somali. Garanug. Okay. Colugas. That's another old Mandela. But I took a peek at them for somebody who didn't remember them at all, and just to double check them, and I did see something that looked new. They are weird guys. Man, they look even more like sacks of bowling balls than I remember, for starters. But this, I don't remember this. Dong, 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 dong. I don't remember the red ears. I do not remember the red ears. Now, it's easy to kind of assume that maybe that's just light going through skin folds, but no, their ears are red now. At least a bunch of them. And I don't remember any of them having... Ooh. Boy, they're very bat-like now, too. I don't remember any of them having red ears. So that is the latest upgrade. Red ears. I'm going to make a guess that they will get brighter red down the line, but these guys are clearly red or pink or whatever, but they look too red to be just pink colored skin. Something's going on. And they didn't have that before. So I call something, whatever it is. Look at that. I don't really actually remember them being quite this extensively bat-like. Mammals, trees, colugo. Looks like these might have upgraded a tad. I mean, that's pretty creepy. And flying squirrels never had that quite that much webbing. Like, they even have some kind of weird tail webbing thing. Way out the back behind the legs. I just don't remember that much webbing. It was, you know, more like here. But now, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, something's going on with colugos. Dang, I only got 15 minutes. I might have to come. I might not finish everything, but I'll have a jump on next time. Okay, if you guys remember coconut crab, I don't know if this will be a big Emmy for you, but coconut crabs. We had those in Guam when I was visiting that area, had lots of coconut crabs. What do coconut crabs eat? And I know I looked this up a bunch of times. Every time I look at coconut crabs, they look creepier than ever and bigger and just scary. But one thing that I always saw, and one of the things that makes me sure it's coconut crabs, what do coconut crabs eat? Coconuts. They eat coconuts. And it always said coconut crabs eat cocoa nuts. And that's why they needed these massive effing pinchers, because coconuts are not easy to open. And these guys had to rip open effing coconuts. But now, all right, I'm going to find it. Blah, blah. I'm going to find it. Description, life cycle. Somewhere in here they said that they don't eat much coconut. The species is popularly associated with the coconut palm, yet coconuts are not a significant part of its diet. No film shows crabs selectively picking coconut fruit, though they might dislodge ripe fruit that otherwise would fall naturally. Climbing is an immediate escape route, if too far from the burrow, to avoid predation by large birds when young or by humans, or cannibalism at any age by bigger, older crabs. So they don't eat coconut. They ate effing coconut, okay? That's what they ate. And they were on the ground, and the natives would hunt them, and the Filipinos would hunt them for very tasty dinner on Guam. And they would, you know, dig around on the ground under burrows and stuff. They weren't really found up in the trees. They would just eat the coconuts that fell on the ground. They were coconut effing crabs. But apparently they're not now. I don't even know. They're somehow associated with coconuts, but they don't eat coconuts. And sometimes they might be in a tree with coconuts, but they could be in any tree. This is baloney. I'm sorry. I know it's not a big one to you, but I know they ate effing coconuts. And they're creepy looking now. They're so creepy. They just look like big crabs before, but now they look like aliens from outer effing space. Look at that thing. Some of them are reddish, some are purplish, some are bluish. It looks like some are like rainbow colored with pinks and oranges now. They were just blah colored before. There's no way they had all these effing colors before. Every color under the sun, yellows, I mean, like they're all supposed to be one species, but they've got like this rainbow thing going on. All right, I give up on that one. I mean, granted, some of this might be a little, see, this one's got like black plus red and orange. Come on, they're not 10,000 colors. You can have like rainbow Skittles coconut crabs now. A species of hermit crab. Coconut crab's a species of hermit crab. I don't know about that one. I'm a little suspicious about that one. All right, now I do wonder if some of these images might have been like somehow enhanced, but still, there's plenty of them where they really, really do look either quite blue, quite purple, except for that one, which won't load. Quite orange, quite red. Won't load. Come on. But a new link tower. Like, I'm pretty sure she did not mess with this one. Her skin tone looks normal and everything. Yeah, there's quite a bit of purple blues, and up here is reds. She's probably going to eat that one for dinner. I've heard that they're quite tasty about 50 timelines ago. I don't know now. They're so creepy now. I can't get over these things. I just can't. I mean, I think it's because it's one large crab, and it's got these lobes now on the shell and everything. It's just wrong. All right, so they don't eat coconut anymore. I'm getting over it, but it's slow. Talking to new people. For a minute these days is like reading the last page of a book. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that we'll just shake it out and we'll get to the new timeline and it'll get better. I'm voting for that. Damn it. I found out you need vitamin C to process iron from food and supplements. I have not heard that. Vitamin C to process iron. That's it. I'm never going to finish, so I might as well just look at whatever for the next 10 minutes. Vitamin C to... I have never heard of that. Interesting. I actually take a lot of C. I supplement with C. I add it to smoothies. You don't need to take vitamin C with your iron. While the study suggests that combining iron supplements with vitamin C offers no clinical benefit in terms of iron absorption, other research found otherwise. Maybe they're saying it will increase your absorption of iron. Vitamin C improves iron absorption, according to a report. I do think it's good to keep your C up. As the timelines clip on by, it seems like we get more and more good news about vitamin C. Eating iron and vitamin C together will increase non-heme iron absorption, which is harder for the body to do on its own. All right, so that's where we're at. So now they're saying it's non-heme. So if you're not eating meat and you're trying to get your iron, make sure your C is up. But if you don't eat meat, you're probably eating a pretty good amount of fruits and stuff at least. Look up in the Urban Dictionary the definition of mumra. I don't know if I want to do that. Do I want to do that? Need boron for magnesium absorption. All right, let's see what we got here. And of course, all of these things could change tomorrow, so that always makes it fun. Boron improves magnesium absorption and may help vitamin D. Interesting. You need K for D. I think you need magnesium for calcium. Blah, 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 blah. I think we could go on forever with that one. All right, what else we got? Coconut crabs, did the Trump one. I'll save that one. Okay, I've got, what, 2 minutes? Okay. I'm going to do one that took the longest writing. Now, this was an old Mandela, but yet it's a new Mandela also, because the Mandela got Mandelaed. King Tut Tutankhamun's funerary mask. So a lot of people remember one singular cobra on it at the top. Nice and, balanced in the center. And of course, if you've been keeping up with things, suddenly there was like another guy over here. Now, I really remember them all saying that was an eagle and looking into it, and it was an eagle. And if you look back at old Mandela videos, this was one person called it an eagle. And then in the comments, it was half eagle, half, what is that? What's that other beast? It was half eagle, half, I can't even remember now. Vulture, that would be the word. Half eagle, half vulture. And then another person called it a vulture, and in the comments it was everybody referring to it as an eagle. Well, I remember this thing as being said to be an eagle. I mean, and now you look at the neck here, and the neck looks like a snake neck, but they're saying it's a vulture. So it looks like a snake neck with some birdie thing on here, but it's being called a vulture. I mean, that's not a bird's neck, though. That's a snake's neck. So the whole thing is confusing me, but basically, I think the Mandela got Mandelaed because I think that the eagle, I swear, everybody was calling it an effing eagle. I swear. And now, if you look in the wiki, it says that that's a vulture. And then I'm looking at it, and it really looks like it's like a bird head on a snake body, because this slithery snaky part here really looks like it belongs to here. It doesn't match the body on this guy. I also don't remember the head on this cobra looking like that. I don't remember this blue crap here. Anyway, it's getting Mandela-rated. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but it's not right. I don't know. Did they share like one body? Is that the story here with these things? But that, see, and it comes over here, and it comes across over here, and I'm trying to figure out if there's any images that show if they share the same body or what, and I just can't quite put it together. I really don't remember any snake body now that I'm thinking about it. I don't remember there being any slithery parts. I just remember this, and that's it. I don't remember there being a snake body back there at all in any way, shape, or form. It was just the two heads last time, and yeah, that wasn't there. There was just the two heads, and they said that was an eagle. And there was no snake body. So this thing just keeps upgrading or changing or whatever the heck it is. And I have two more, but I think I'm going to have to do that next week because I just don't have time for the other two. I made pretty good progress, though. Don't remember the curl in the back. Yep. Okay, broom is now on back porch. Everybody went and got their broom. Trying to think. I think all my brooms are at work and in the back of the truck now from the recent slave movement of the month. Did not hear the eagle. It was called a vulture. I'm wondering if that's two timelines combined, because if you look at the head, it's some kind of bird. And then you've got half and halves. One guy says it's a vulture, and half the comments call it eagle and half call it vulture. If he said it's a vulture in his video, then you would think all the commenters would use the same word. They wouldn't just jump around. So it was, I checked Unimatrix 001, and he says eagle, but in the comments there was other stuff. That was in 2015, I think it was. Then I checked Brian McFarlane's in, no, 2017, yeah. Brian McFarlane's also in 2017. And he says eagle. But the comments include vulture. So apparently vulture is Nekbet, is a god of one part of the Egypt at the time. And I don't really remember a god called Nekbet either. I don't remember a vulture god. So there you go. Tut's ears are pierced. Oh yeah, you're right, huh? I don't remember that either. That's a good point. Oh, very observant. You're right. I totally don't remember pierced ears. Yeah, it's very prominent too. That's interesting. Yeah, very good observation. Ooh, that shows the sideways view. Look, wait. What's this thing going up the top? Is that the snake's body all the way on the top up here? It looks like it might be. Wait a mini. Yes, look. I think the snake's body slithers up the back of the head, up over the top of the head now. Ah, my God, was I just looking at that and not seeing it? Yeah, so check that out. It totally does slither over the top of the back of the head. Open a new link. I gotta go here in a minute, but look, it does. That was not on there. There is no way. That is so wrong. So it slithers around over here, and then it just clappers. Yeah, no, it wasn't like he really had snakes on his head. That's not how it was. God. That was not right. How did I look at this for like minutes and not see that too? I mean, like, all right, anyway, I gotta run. It looks like we're really close to the 2-hour mark, so I gotta run. I'm gonna make sure I turn off OBS Studios this time too. I don't have to have a repeat of the rice eating show. All right, guys, thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, I did have somebody I had to give credit to. The vultures one came from Odin Zam, user Odin Zam on Retcon, Odinzam. So Odin Zam was actually freaked out that it wasn't just one cobra. So that person's a little bit behind on the Mandela versions, but still brought it to my attention. So appreciate that. Okay, and I think that's the only one this time that's from other people. The rest of them are for me. Lots of Mandelas. Anyway, thank you so much for coming. Think good thoughts, everybody. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.